names, because names really matter, and they also totally don't matter. Paradox. I have recently decided to change my name, and so that's why it's on my mind. We often, when we have women's circles out here, we'll go around at the beginning and do introductions, and we'll say something like our name and one word for how we're feeling, or the element that we're most identifying with right then, or like last week it was, how do you want to live your life? Just, simple little thing like that. And then we'll sometimes follow that up with like, don't even worry if you can't remember these 20 people's names who you've just met, maybe. Names are often the least interesting thing about a person. What really matters is how you feel when you're interacting, and just what the qualities are of that relationship. And it's the same with plants and herbs. So I've got in my pocket here some Usnea, which is totally my punk rock band name, Pocket Full of Usnea, if I ever get around to like a punk rock band. When I was a kid, we called this old man's beard. And I really don't care if you call this old man's beard, or Usnea barbata, its Latin name, or that stringy stuff that hangs on the trees and has kind of like the elastic inside it. What is that stuff? Doesn't really matter what you call it. It's how do you feel when you're around it, when you interact with it. What is this like and asking you to do? What kind of relationship does it want to have? What kind of relationship are you open to having with it? It's a conversation, a getting to know each other. And paradox again, specificity matters when you're ingesting things. That's why the Latin name is kind of this Rosetta Stone of like, oh, I'm talking about this one. And that's really important. And so that's the name, the exact name that I mean right now. So yeah, names matter, names don't matter. And I've just changed my name, which matters a bit to me, but maybe doesn't matter very much in the grand scheme of things. I don't know. We'll see. For the last, 16 years, I've been using a name that I took when I got married in my early 20s, which is custom in my culture. A lot of women will choose to take their husband's name when they get married. And it's a beautiful name. It has such a lovely meaning, and it sounds like bells when you say it in its own language. And it's not my name. It hasn't really ever been my name, but it's especially not been my name since I got divorced 7 years ago. So when I did that, when I got divorced, I was like, all right, do I keep this name? Because my 2 children, at the time I had 2 children, now I have 3. They have this name. We could all have the same name, and, that might make it easy for the postal carrier. Or do I change it? Do I go back to my name that I was given at birth, which is my father's last name, customary again to give a child their father's last name? I don't know what to do. Yeah. So I just kind of sat with it, like you just sit with things that you don't know what to do with, and sometimes you sit with them for 7 years. Anyway, I don't know why choosing my own name was so much harder than my children's names. My 3 children have beautiful names that my eldest, he carries a name that goes back 4 generations on his father's side. So a very patrilineal name, as is custom in his father's culture. So that name was pretty well like established. That's going to be this kid's name, first son, father's name, easy. And then my daughters, they each told me, well, one told me and one told their father their names. One before she was even conceived. I mean, it was like, hello, I'm here, this is my name. The end. And they are exactly who they said they were going to be. Like, they totally nailed it. So, yeah, naming myself, though, not as easy. Sat with it. Resisted. And finally just was like, fuck it. I'm going to just use the name that keeps coming to me. And it's a name that comes from my mother's side. But I was, like overanalyzing it. Like, oh, it's not really a name from my mother's side of the family, because even though it's my mother's name, it's actually her father's name. And, patriarchy! You're still there! But whatever. It was her name, and she was fucking badass. This woman Hi, sweetie, I'm over here. My littlest is gathering eggs or feeding rabbits or something. But, you know, this woman, okay, apparently I would have towered over her, and I'm not even that tall. Redheaded, Scotch-Irish, grew up in Western Kentucky, ran away with a railroad man against her parents' wishes, moved out to the West Coast where she would like bury the coffee grounds at the feet of her fruit trees and had, I guess, the best tasting fruit, is what I've heard. And once she knocked a guy out with a cast iron skillet because he came through her back door, and she just took that cast iron skillet and, you know, bam. Little teeny tiny 18-inch waist or whatever. My mom had one of her dresses in a cedar chest, and like I could just like fit it on my arm. So yeah, that's my name, because that's my line. That's who I come from. And yeah, Michelle Kathleen Elder is what I'm going to go by now. And elder, in addition to meaning old, which is the first thing my son pointed out to me, it also means elder. You know, like in a community, an elder, which is a name I've been given before and one that I wish to stand in firmly. And I have a really special relationship with the plant elder, Sambucus nigra, or blue elder, or there's other ones too. But this blue elder, my goodness, I first met her when I was living in England, and I was like, who's that? I was on a plant walk with an herbalist. She's like, oh, that's elder. I'm like, whoa, I had never seen it. I'd read about it. I'd looked at pictures. I'd used it in formulas, but I'd never like met her. Whoa. I just loved how I felt standing next to her. And then, you know, we didn't really have much of a relationship for a while there. And then last summer twice, I was driving in my car and she about ran me off the road. I mean, I had this like magnetic pull to like pull over and talk to me. I'm like, all right. So I pulled my car over and I talked with her, and there were two occasions. And once I was like, you know, wading through blackberries, brambles in my work clothes. I mean, it was ridiculous. I was like, why am I doing this? And she's like, you are doing this to remember who you are. And I'm like, okay, cool. So that was one interaction. And the next one, I was driving, I was lost, I was late for an event, I was feeling really frustrated, and, you know, again, pulled over. Give me your anger and I will protect you. Elder's really good for immunity and protection. I'm actually wearing some elder twigs in an amulet right now for protection. And I was pissed. You know that thing like being pissed off? Like I was pissed. I was pissed at a lot of things. Not just being lost. and so I peed on her. That's what she wanted. She was like, give me your anger and I will protect you. And plants love it when you pee on them. They do. And you know what, that Usnea barbata we were just talking about? A Scotch dye can be made like by peeing on it, basically. You like put it in a jar. Hi, babe. We've got a visitor. Hey, we're talking. You seen the bunny? Hi. So anyhow, yeah, peed on this plant. She gave me her protection. Off we went. We found the event. All was good. Nothing much more with Elder. I took her syrup like every day that winter. Do you remember taking the elderberry syrup last winter? You like that, huh? Yeah. And then, oh, I'm doing this part. And then, yeah, she came back again. This, like, New Year's, I do a vision board each year. And she was like front and center. Do you want to hold it? Yeah. She was like front and center on my vision board. Oh, wow, we're going to have a new camera angle now. So she was right there on my vision board. And then, all right, part 2, final thoughts here after intermission. We needed to take a little break there. But very appropriate that I would give you the last little bit of this story about elder here with this elder plant. She just appeared one day. I have been for 2 years trying to propagate blue elder on this property by cuttings and seeds and mostly just praying to the spirit of the plant. Please, please, please. And then one day in July, I walked outside my back door. That's my back door right there. And there she was. She had not been there the night before. The night before, she was not there. I swear to you, she was not there. And then I come out, and it's as tall as I am, and this was July. It was in bloom. Beautiful white flowers that smell like, oh my gosh, heavenly. There she was. That's how it works, you know? You meet these people, you meet these plants, and you just keep running into them, and you keep like, okay, wait, I know you. I know you. I know you. And then relationships develop, and, you know, it's pretty special, pretty cool. So, be well, always. Bye.